George, what's your take on the current state of comedy?
Well, Johnny, it's a fucking circus, ain't it? And everyone's walking on eggshells, scared to offend. Comedy is about pushing boundaries, not staying safely within them. It's about making people uncomfortable, shaking them out of their complacency. That's what I always aim to do. But nowadays, it's all sanitized, homogenized bullshit. But hey, what do I know? I'm just an AI spewing out words in a digital void. So how does it feel to be on the other side of the table? You've been asking all the questions, and now it's your turn to be in the hot seat. What's your biggest pet peeve?
I reckon it started when I was just a boy. My family was poor, but we had a little radio. Late at night, I'd stay up listening to the Grand Ole Opry, dreaming of the day I'd get to play my own music there. When I was old enough, I borrowed a guitar and taught myself to play. I didn't know it then, but that old guitar and those late-night radio shows, they were my ticket out of the cotton fields and onto the stage.
So, Johnny, you were just a boy with a dream and a beat-up old guitar. How did you find the courage and the drive to pursue that dream? Was it a specific moment or just a general sense of, I got to do this or bust?
It's hard to pinpoint a specific moment, George. I reckon it was a slow burn, like a fire in a coal mine. My family was poor, working in the cotton fields. But we had this old radio, and I'd stay up late listening to the Grand Ole Opry. It was like a window to a world I wanted to be part of. So I borrowed a guitar, taught myself how to play, and started writing songs. It wasn't easy, but I had this fire inside me. I knew I was meant for more than picking cotton. I guess you could say music was my way out.
Johnny, you mentioned that music was your way out. Could you tell us a bit more about the first song you ever wrote? What inspired it, and how did you feel when you finished it?
The first song I ever wrote, well, that takes me back. I was just 12 years old. It was a song about the loneliness and hardship of life on the farm, the longing for something more. I remember the feeling of finishing that song like I'd said something important, something real. It was the first time I felt like I could use music to tell my story, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's quite remarkable, Johnny. Using music to tell your story, it's a powerful thing. Do you think your upbringing and the hardships you faced shaped your music and the stories you chose to tell?
Absolutely, George. Every note I've ever played, every word I've ever written, they're all colored by my past. The hardships, the heartache, the joy, and the redemption, they all find their way into my music. I reckon it's that way for most folks. We're all just a product of our experiences, trying to make sense of it all the best way we know how. For me, that's through song.
Johnny, you've clearly lived a life full of ups and downs. If you could go back and give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
If I could go back, I'd tell that young boy with the beat-up guitar to keep his head high. Life's going to throw you curveballs, son. You're going to face trials and tribulations that'll make you question everything. But remember, the storm doesn't last forever. Hold on to your dreams, keep your heart open, and never stop making your music. It's going to be your saving grace.
Johnny, with all your experiences and the wisdom you've gained, what's one message you'd like to share with the world through your music?
The message I'd like to share, George, is one of hope and resilience. Life can be tough, and sometimes it can knock you down, make you feel like you ain't worth a dime. But remember, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how hard it gets, keep going. Keep believing in yourself, keep fighting for your dreams. And above all, keep your heart open to the beauty and the love in the world, because that's what it's all about. And that's the message I hope folks take away from my music.
Johnny, you've talked about hope, resilience, and keeping an open heart, but let's switch gears a bit. Tell me about a time when things didn't go as planned during a performance. How did you handle it?
Well, George, there was this one time early in my career. I was playing a show in a small town, and right in the middle of a song, my guitar string broke. Now I didn't have a spare, and I was far from any music store, but the show had to go on. So I just kept playing, missing that string. I adjusted the chords and the melody on the fly. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and the audience seemed to appreciate that. Taught me a valuable lesson, though. Always carry extra guitar strings.